Whether you are in New York, London, Sydney, or Berlin, the story is the exact same. For the first time in history, an entire generation is realizing that they might never own a home. Rent is eating up 50% of our paychecks. House prices are 10 times the average salary. But why is this happening everywhere at the exact same time? Is it just too many people? Is it greedy landlords? Or is something deeper and more invisible happening to our economy? Today, we are going to look at the four major forces that created the global housing trap. To understand the crisis, we have to talk about zoning. This is a rule book that tells us what can be built and where. In most Western cities, it is illegal to build anything other than a single family house on most of the land. This means we can't build townhouses, apartments, or small flats where people actually want to live. But why don't we just change the rules? This brings us to NIMBYism, not in my backyard. Current homeowners often fight new construction because they fear it will lower their property value or change the character of the neighborhood. This creates a massive supply shortage. We have more people than ever, but we have made it illegal to build enough homes for them. When supply is low and demand is high, prices don't just go up, they explode. For decades, houses were places where families lived. But after the 2008 financial crisis, something changed. Huge investment firms like BlackRock and Vanguard realized that housing was a safer bet than the stock market. These institutional investors began buying tens of thousands of single-family homes all at once. When a regular family tries to buy a home, they are now competing against a multi-billion-dollar corporation that can pay in all cash. These companies don't just want to flip the houses, they want to rent them back to you forever. This financialization of housing turns homes into assets for a portfolio rather than shelters for human beings. Then came the era of cheap money. For over a decade, interest rates were near zero. This encouraged people and investors to borrow massive amounts of money to buy property, driving prices even higher. But then, inflation hit. The cost of timber, steel, and labor skyrocketed. Suddenly, even if you had the land and permission, it became too expensive to actually build the house. To fight inflation, central banks raised interest rates. This made mortgages more expensive for you, but it didn't necessarily make the houses cheaper. It's a double-edged sword. High prices to buy and high interest to borrow. The door is being locked from both sides. In the middle of all of this, a new player arrived. Short-term rentals like Airbnb. In cities like Barcelona, Lisbon, and Venice, thousands of long-term apartments have been converted into tourist rentals. When an apartment becomes a hotel room, it is removed from the local housing market. This forces local workers to move further and further away from the city center, destroying the community and increasing traffic. The city becomes a playground for visitors, while the people who run the city can no longer afford to live in it. The housing crisis isn't an accident. It is a result of decades of bad policy and treating shelter like a stock market. Solving it requires a multi-front war. We must end restrictive zoning and build more missing middle housing. We need to protect renters from predatory corporate buying and prioritize people over profits. And we need to reinvest in social and public housing, like they do in cities like Vienna, where housing is still affordable.